3. Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Here we are with episode 2 of Monday Quarterbacking. This is a video out of South Africa. We have 2 security contractors who are driving an armored vehicle carrying phones. There's a lot of, and even in this video, it is dubbed as a cash in transit heist. And most of the videos and sources that you see out there are describing it as a cash in transit heist, but they're carrying cell phones in the vehicle. These 2 guys are on a highway going from point A to point B is the best I can guess when they are ambushed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the video without any interruptions. I'll let it play throughout the entire 3 minutes of it. And then at the end, I'll just go back to the beginning, hit replay, and I'll stop intermittently at some points within the video and talk about what we saw in the video and good things and bad things that are within it. Without further ado, here we go.
Begun. Kom nu, komt. Coming off that. Coming off that. Look at the shit. Look at the fucking shit. Found Robbie. Found Robbie. Found Josh. Mark him wieder auf. Fucking shooting. The lateral.
right. So that was pretty intense video. And unfortunately, I also happened to come across a stupid advertisement on my video. So I'm going to go ahead and mute that, hit the play. That way, go ahead and clear out and go ahead and hit this skip ads. It's one of the problems with doing a screen recording on YouTube is, well, you can come across stupid advertisements at inopportune times. And I'm not going to go back and just delete the video just to redo it again. So, as I said, we got two guys who are doing contract security work, and they have cell phones in their vehicle that they're transporting. Cell phones, depending on, what they are, no idea what kind of phones are in the vehicle, but I would guess that they're smartphones. They're pretty nice smartphones, probably iPhones or something like that. And they're getting them from point A to point B, and some road pirates are wanting to stop them and jack their stuff so they can go sell it on their own and make a profit off of it. So in the first beginning of the video, and I'll hit play on this again, you'll notice there's an absence of any music being played. No AM, FM radio turned on to a talk show or music or anything like that. It's pretty quiet in the vehicle. You can hear the road noise and everything. So that's pretty good. They're not distracted. The driver, as you can see, he seems to be pretty situationally aware. He keeps looking in his driver's side and passenger side mirror and checking the roadway, checking the road conditions. He seems like he has his head on a swivel. He's looking around, see him looking out the window there. Not sure what he's looking at, but he's looking at stuff, checking his surroundings, making sure, what's going on. I can only assume that him looking right there, he's looking at the passenger side window, checking out it, seeing who's behind him, whatnot. So the driver's doing pretty good. Passenger, sure, he's looking around too, looking out the mirrors. They both seem to be, aware and looking for threats. Unfortunately, some vehicles on the roadway drive a little bit faster, and so you can't, it's almost impossible to, tell which vehicles are doing what, especially on an open roadway like that, and people are speeding anyway. So just because a vehicle is coming up speeding towards you doesn't mean, they're out to get you. But that's one of the headaches, I guess you could say, of doing this kind of work when you're on the roadway, is there's a lot to be paying attention to. Now, let me back this up just a little bit. So we're going along. Boom, contact. And you can see the vehicle that's coming up on the side. Not sure what kind of vehicle that is. I think it's described as an Audi. But shooting, armored glass right there, spider webs, which is pretty typical. Now let me back up. I want you to focus on the passenger here. So he reaches down, pulls a sidearm out. It sounds like he racks that sidearm. And then he lays it on his lap. Let me hit this one more time so you can catch what's going on. Handgun out. Racks it. Lays it on his leg and takes the rifle. That is, oh man, that's hard to watch. That's, oh man. So, number one, this guy was presumably rolling around with an unchambered pistol. And he had to rack the pistol to get it ready for a fight. That's mistake number one. Your gun should always be loaded at all times. Mistake number two, when he took the rifle, he just laid the pistol on his leg. That's mistake number two. He should have reholstered that pistol and then took the rifle over. Now our driver here is doing some evasive driving techniques. There's more than one vehicle. There's a sedan and what looks like to be some type of truck or SUV that he's maneuvering against here. Passenger racks the rifle, gets the rifle charged up, ready for fight. But he's still got that handgun in his left hand. Rifle in the right hand, pistol in the left hand.
Coming off dash.
Pistol in his left hand still. I don't know what he's planning on doing at this point.
Coming off dash. They're gonna fucking shoot.
You can see that guy outside the passenger window. I'll back it up a bit. Yeah, so if you look closely, and I'll hit replay on it a couple times. So these guys are out of their vehicles now, trying to ambush these dudes. So if you can look out the passenger window, you'll see a guy standing. He shoots, and then you see the windshield, or not the windshield, but the window on the driver or passenger side, spider web.
Front Robbie.
So now he transitions his pistol. Let me hit replay on this one more time. Alright, move that out of the way.
Front Robbie.
So he takes his pistol, transitions it to his right hand, and then it looks as though he just sets the pistol down in the console in the middle. Doesn't even put it back in his holster. And then he gets on the phone. No idea who he's calling on the phone. He could either be calling police or he could be calling their handler saying, hey, we're being attacked. Highly doubt he's contacting QRF. I mean, all they're doing is transporting cell phones. I highly doubt there's a QRF for that. So he's most likely calling the police or calling the boss. Now, up until this point, the driver has been doing some evasive driving. They're on that main road, and seems like he did a kind of a U-turn at one point, and now the vehicles that the bad guys are in, they're still chasing, and this is where he's ramming them. And so he hits one, and he rams one. I believe it's an Audi. He rams the Audi up onto a bollard.
Fucking shooting.
And a bollard is just one of those big concrete pole kind of things that prevents vehicles from driving through them. You probably see them in front of big buildings, big concert places and venues or whatever. It's just meant to stop big vehicles from plowing through them. And in the middle of this car battle, so to speak, him ramming people, their vehicle becomes disabled. It won't go anywhere. So now he makes the decision to bail out. At this point, it would have been good if they had communicated with each other a little bit more throughout this point. And especially communicating bail out when the vehicle is no longer drivable. So he's starting to bail out, seatbelt's in the way, grabs his rifle. Now that guy, he's still seatbelted in, and then that's where the video ends. I have not seen any longer versions of this video thus far. All the ones I've seen are basically just this. This is where it ends. Now, when he finally decides to dismount from the vehicle, he's going to have to find his handgun. Because if you remember earlier, when he had the rifle and the handgun, He eventually transitioned that handgun from his left hand over to the right console area. So unless that gun is still sitting in the console, I would say with all that ramming and harsh driving, there's probably a pretty good chance that thing flew out and is sitting on the floorboard at this point. So now he is potentially without a gun in a gunfight. Now, luckily for them, the bad guys in the vehicles, once they crashed out, they took off running. One supposedly had ran into a fast food restaurant uh, for whatever reason. I don't know if to go hide out among people in the fast food restaurant or if he just ran in there and wanted to run out the other side and or out the back door or whatever. But the bad guys, they bailed out and they ran away too. They didn't want to engage in any kind of fight, which is good. Lucky for these guys because their vehicle had become disabled and they had to bail out at that point. Now, some people may be saying, well, they're in an armored car. Why don't they just stay in it? Well, armored vehicles, they can't stop bullets all day long. They're just meant to stop bullets long enough for you to get off the X and get the hell out of there. You take an armored car, you shoot it enough times, bullets are going to go through it. So they can't just sit there and wait it out, so to speak. Even in an armored vehicle, if your vehicle becomes inoperable, you have to bail out. So, takeaway points on this, you know, driver seems pretty aware of his surroundings. It can be hard to figure out which vehicles are good guys or bad guys on a road like that when you just got common speeders and stuff like that. But obviously, one of them pulls up and tries their thing. Now, one thing that I noticed earlier and I forgot to point out was watch the passenger's facial expressions and his eyes when the gunshots start. Watch his face. Watch those eyes.
Drop your gun. This gun?
So yeah, the only negative thing about the passenger is him taking his gun out of his holster and then putting it on his leg to take the rifle and then transitioning it over to the console instead of putting it back in his holster. That right there, that's cringe. That's cringeworthy. It's hard to watch that when you see it. It's just like, ugh, what are you doing? Other than that, I mean, not much else that can really be said a whole lot about this video. The video is not very long. You don't see a whole lot of details, especially out the driver's side window. His spider web's up pretty good from that hit. They do take, I know one hit for sure in the windshield. I've looked at some photos of this vehicle in the aftermath. There's a pretty good spider web right in the center of the windshield. I can't remember if there was another shot in the windshield or not, but that's pretty typical with armored windows is they'll spider web out pretty big once they get hit, which can make looking through them extremely difficult. But at least you don't have a rifle bullet in your face. That will ruin your day real quick. So the cell phone thing, um, he's got that cell phone in his hand, and one thing I was thinking about that is, they come to a stop, and he's still got that phone in his hand, and he needs to bail out. So at that point, yeah, communications is important, but do you need to be dicking around with your phone when you're in an immobilized vehicle, or do you need to stuff that phone into a pocket, just drop the phone, leave it, get your gun, get out, go take cover? You need to just get into a fighting position. If you can't make that phone call right then and there, too bad. Try it again later. Um, Maybe something like having a pouch on the vest, or cordage or something like that running in behind the vest, so that the phone that has a case to it, you can run cordage to it, sort of dummy cord it to yourself. That might be a viable option for doing work like this, where you've got your company phone, or even if it's your phone, and in the heat of the moment, you need to make contact, and you got your phone out, and then you need to instantaneously free your hands up. Well, if you drop your phone and it's laying in the floorboard, and you have to dismount from the vehicle, and you can't ever make it back to the vehicle, but that phone's a pretty important piece of your communications, then you can dummy cord that phone to you. Just put a hole in the case, run some 550 cord in there, and on the other end, you can run it to behind the vest, so that you have enough length where you can put that phone in your pocket and it stays in the pocket, but the little dummy cord runs out and goes in behind the vest, so it's kind of out of the way. And then in the heat of the moment, if you got it out and you're using it and you need to drop it and go hands free, at least that phone's going to stay with you. And once the fighting's done with, you can still communicate further. That's the downside with cell phones, is um, they're not like mobile radios where you got a little lapel mic on there, and you have the lapel mic, attached to your shoulder or whatever, and you can reach up and press it and talk and let go, and it's still there. Cell phones, you have to have it in your hand pretty much, and then if you need your hands for something, well, what's it going to be? Phone in the hand or a gun in the hand? I'm going to pick gun in the hand. Trying to think if there's anything else I was missing. So, communication in between the two, and I talked on that briefly. I would have liked to have seen them communicating with each other on as far as bailing out of the vehicle and whatnot. But it is what it is, so to speak. So this was the cash in transit heist down in South Africa, and again, there was no cash in the vehicle; it's just cell phones. But this was a video that has been making its rounds on the internet. It's a pretty popular video, and I thought it would make a pretty good video for Monday Quarterback. If you like the Monday Quarterback series, give me a like, comment, and a share. Head on over to the Facebook page and do the same over there, where the videos is being shared as well. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, with the Monday Quarterback series. Thank you for watching.